prior to using Civic Champs, we were doing everything pen and paper, literally having clipboards with logs on them, expecting our volunteers to remember to sign in and sign out. Then all of those logs, had to go around to our different locations and buildings and collecting all of those logs, having someone then putting them on an Excel spreadsheet and giving us a total of hours, but also then having to manually put them into our kind of a donation tracking system that also somewhat has a volunteer tracking system. So as you can tell, there's a lot of steps involved. There's just very cumbersome, and it just required a large amount of work. And so one of the first things that when I came on as the executive director last year was, let's streamline this. There's definitely, I'm sure, something out there that just makes this much easier. And I also wanted more reporting capabilities of just being able to, after any given project, be able to know how many hours had been volunteered, or even creating volunteer sign-up opportunities. So all of these things. And so after we started using Civic Champs, shortly after, back in May, we did have a project where I wanted to create an event where I would open for volunteers to sign up, be able to have different locations, different job duties, different timeframes. And it worked very well. It was kind of our pilot project that we used it on. And it was great because we had 2 locations going on at the same time, and we had different shifts. And so we were able to create those shifts, put that information out to potential volunteers. They registered in advance and were able to then just show up knowing where they needed to be, have details of the location, have details of what to wear, what to expect when they arrived. And so the platform, Civic Champs, just made it so easy to create that in the calendar and just easy to provide that information to our potential volunteers. So that was great on that end. As far as the day-to-day, we've had a positive experience in that we have the link on our website. People can go to our website, click on our volunteer tab, and sign up right there by clicking on the link to Civic Champs and enroll as a new volunteer, creating the different forms and whatever is required on our end to become a volunteer, like our guidelines, our waivers. That all has been very seamless in integrating that as well as part of the application process. And then just on a day-to-day basis, checking in, having that kiosk mode has been really great for us, just because we are able to have different tablets in our different departments in different locations, and volunteers can check in. So for us, that has been just great because we're not tracking paper all over the place, and I can easily pull reports on how many volunteers we've had. Also, the fact that these reports can easily be exported, can be downloaded, whether it be a CSV file or an Excel, and then we can manipulate the information as we needed. That has also been very, very helpful in just connecting also with our volunteers, which we were not able to do that on a larger scale before, where literally we'd have to look at who our volunteers are, go find their information based on their pen and paper application, and then create like a mailing or email list. And so this allows us to, with the reporting capability of downloading that, getting all of the emails, and then creating some sort of newsletter or email blast to them in that way. And so for us, this has really just been time saving, which as a nonprofit who has a very small group of staff and highly dependent on volunteers, time is definitely very valuable to us. And so we have benefited so much from having to cut back on all of the time in tracking all of this. And for our volunteers, I will admit that for some of them it was a bit challenging, and it continues to be, because they're an older demographic at times where the technology can sometimes be a little bit difficult. But all in all, they've been very gracious with us and very willing to learn the technology. I must say for our younger volunteers, the app has definitely been the way to go for them. They love the app. They are able to track how many hours they've done. A lot of our younger volunteers are doing this for college, for high school requirements, and so for them, being able to know at any given time how many hours they've already logged in is very beneficial and not have to always reach out to us and say, "Hey, how many hours have I done?" or having to keep a log somewhere on pen and paper, that they're able to just check their app and know when they've met the requirement.